Welcome to a Democrat and a Republican
walk into a bar
here at Ollie's Records and Beer in Cape Coral. Thanks to Ollie's for hosting us. We have a few in mind, some things that are happening here in Southwest Florida, but yeah, really doing good on YouTube. So this has become a really popular show, and definitely something that I think that people want to see more of. How can we discuss issues? We're still sitting here having a drink. We're still friendly with one another. We don't have to disagree. We don't have to agree on everything to still have conversation.
Yeah, which is what we need to at least start at a position where we're not like calling each other, oh, socialist, fascist, this and that, transphobe, bigot. All the things that we're always yelling at each other on, that can be left up to the cable news. Right. They could do that there.
Good. So there are a few things happening locally that I know that you wanted to dive into.
I saw it on your page, actually. I thought it was embarrassing, but hilarious at the same time. I think that you should explain it because you are very good you're very professorial, so you can at least explain what happened there. But I really want to talk about this.
All right. So this was in Collier County Schools, right? So Collier County Schools at Manatee Middle School, there was a video that was shared that I guess is part of like their daily news program that goes out to the students and then parents and everybody got to see
the morning announcements type of stuff.
But it was a video presentation from, I believe it was one of the social studies teachers. I think that he's also maybe part-time faculty at Florida Gulf Coast University. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, one of the teachers shared basically a voiceover on a PowerPoint presentation about Confederate History Month, saying April's Confederate History Month, and laid out this kind of description and timeline of Florida in the Confederate history. It was very
cringe.
It was cringe. It was very cringe. But it was also like extremely pro-Confederacy. It used a lot of...
Felt very lost causey.
Yeah, a lot of language that I think, and I know because I actually, before I saw that video, I was getting text messages from moms who had kids at that school saying, have you seen this? And children are upset. And they're because on top of everything, that school is 97.3% or 93.7% minority. So it's
which is
largely
even worse.
Black and Hispanic students.
First off, so since April is Confederate History Month, I guess, I didn't even realize they had a history month. Let's be clear about the history. And that is the fact that they were traitors. And for me, we've talked about how before we're both patriotic Americans. Of course, being a Republican, America is such a massive part of our identity. Yeah. The fact of the matter is we became a country because of the Civil War. And it was because of that we became the United States. Before we weren't. We were more like a European Union. We were seen as these United States of America. So the fact of the matter is the Confederate history is not one of that should be looked at positively. And the other thing in particular with what he said, he used very specific words that I thought were hilariously horrible, if that makes any sense, where it was comical on how stupid it was, where he used a term. What did he say? He said, the Civil War was caused for a variety of reasons, which is what a lot of pro-Confederate lost causers like to say. I guess it is technically true that there were a bunch of reasons, but the main reason was slavery. And I think we all know that. And even people who try to deny it know that. But it's like saying that the main reason for the American Revolution is because colonists wanted to move westward. It may be one of the minor reasons, but it wasn't the inciting incident.
It's because they wanted cheaper tea or something.
Or it was no taxation without representation.
Which was like
that was
part of the deal.
Yeah. The point being is that it's definitely embarrassing. I cringed because it's when you are a patriotic American, when you talk about how wonderful this country is, you have to understand that the Confederate States were not a part of that. And the only good thing that came of it is because of their stupidity of seceding. Had they not seceded, we would not have ended slavery when we did. It probably would have lasted a lot longer because it was such a powerful and common institution. It was because of their secession that justified that ending of slavery and that definition of us as a country that defends liberty and freedom. And so it always boggled my mind, even as someone as a history nerd who had fascinations with the Confederate States. There's some very interesting stuff in the Confederate States Constitution if you strip out the slavery stuff. But That doesn't change the fact that the reason they seceded, many of the states cited slavery for their secession. Alexander's famous cornerstone speech laid it down as a major reason for secession. It is how they felt. So to deny that is to deny facts and to deny the truth. But
Yeah.
I think it was embarrassing. And I think about these woke laws that we passed, where I'm pretty sure we're not supposed to make someone feel bad based on their demographic or how they are. I don't remember exactly the wording, but I would imagine, like you said,
That made a
97%
lot of kids
minorities.
feel uncomfortable.
It made a lot of
Yeah.
kids feel uncomfortable. I would assume it's the same thing that if you taught white people critical race theory, it would have been a very similar emotional. So I
Yeah.
say this individual has justification for termination. I would say.
I believe that teacher has been suspended for now. I'm not on the ins and outs of what happened there, but I can definitely say what struck me when I watched the video was this, along the same lines as you, is that I'm struck at the normalization of secession. That's what really got me. I'm like, wait a second. Oh, then we had two United States, and I'm like, no, we didn't. Then we had two Americas. Everything is hunky dory, and I'm like,
No.
this is not how that works. You don't get to just be like, hey, we're going to be Americans over here.
Yeah.
Like that part of it, the way that the language was used really bothered me.
Yeah, that was another part of it too, where it gave a very positive outlook of secession. And look, from a Republican's perspective, a lot of the reason why there's a minority of us who are so supportive of secession is more along the lines of the over encroachment of the federal government. And that's where that concern comes. And I feel like that's an issue that, of course, we should discuss and make sure that we don't have a federal government that encroaches on the rights of both states and individuals. But that's an entirely different discussion. And the solution is not, let's get out of here. And
yeah, but let's be clear. If you are talking about war, secession, and leaving the country, you're a fucking traitor.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're a traitor.
Full stop.
Like, you're not a patriot. You're not a supporter of the Constitution, because these are not things that are part of that. So you can't have it both ways. And I think that's like I said, was a worrying thing for me. And then, of course, this kind of very whitewashing language about, it was like, and slavery kind of thing. And it really struck a nerve with a lot of parents. At least applaud the administrative response right now. I will say, and this is something like kind of insidey baseball, that I know some parents raised the concern to the school board chair, who I believe now is Kelly Lichter, and she basically laughed it off. So I'm not sure how it's going to go through.
They do have a pretty conservative school board there, so it's unclear as how they would react. But again, as a conservative myself, I don't understand how you can say you're pro-America and pro-Confederacy. The two are contradictory statements. They are polar opposites. It is like saying you are a capitalist and a communist. You cannot be both.
Yep, I'm with you on that. But it seems as though, and I think that the response that I saw from Chair Lichter was that she said, oh, did you get this information from Jen Mitchell, which is a hearkening back to their school board race and this assertion that this is like a Democratic overcry or whatever. But I thought that was like an inappropriate response to parents, first of all. And
definitely, I wouldn't say, and again, as a Republican, I wouldn't say it is. I think that, again, this is an issue of, are you pro-America or not pro-America? That's how this needs to be viewed as. You can't be pro-America and pro-Confederacy. That's it. And I can understand Kelly Lichter maybe having this initial reaction because this is unfortunately how politics is, but they do need to look at it from that perspective. Is this a pro-America lesson? And we keep talking about this with all these education bills that's coming up. We don't want children to be indoctrinated in a way that makes them anti-American. This is the other end of that coin from the socialism communist side. The flip side of that is pro-Confederacy, fascism, totalitarianism. Right. So we need to make sure that our education isn't teaching either of those, because both of those types of political systems and economic systems and just theories in general are anti-American.
Yep. So we agree on that.
Yeah, we agree on that. This is
That's
probably
great.
one
High
thing
five. It happens every now and then. All right.
we find areas of agreement a lot of times more than disagreement.
Thanks for joining us here, and we will see you next time on a Democrat and
Next
Republican.
Sunday or
Walk
Wednesday
into
if
a
you're
bar.
listening to
That's
us on
right. Check
podcast.
out the edited one on Wednesday.
All right.
Bye.
Subscribe.